So I was sitting in a lawyer's office about to file bankruptcy, and I was shaking uncontrollably. I started having a panic attack, and as quick as I could, I threw the paperwork down and I ran out of the attorney's office. And I barely remember the ride home. I flipped out. At that point, I felt like my life was completely over. And the next couple days were a blur. And after I detoxed for 3 days, a facility took me in to help me finish detoxing so I could go into recovery. At that point, I figured I might as well be dead. Because at that point, I think I knew that I knew that I knew that my marriage was over. It took a few months, and probably about month 4 or 5 is when me and my wife separated, and I went on to find myself again. There was a point in time in my life where I had an enormous amount of confidence. I had an enormous amount of trust in God and believing that He had a purpose for my life. I hadn't yet figured it out, but I was on the right path. And I began to lose myself because I started chasing money and I started chasing possessions. The problem is I never got a chance to really enjoy it. I was working my ass off. I had contracted Lyme disease. My body was failing me. I was gaining weight uncontrollably. I didn't know what was going on. My testosterone was dropping while everything else was adding. I lost my confidence. I lost my own personal security, tons of health problems, anxiety through the roof, running a business, constantly being away from home. I lost who John was because I lost focus of me and my growth and what I need to do to make my life better. Back to recovery, I realized there were a lot of unresolved childhood traumas that I had. And I mean, I knew about a lot of them, but I didn't know how bad a lot of them were affecting me. I was molested when I was a little kid. I want to say around the ages of 4 and 5, and I can't really tell you when it ended. Um, my dad was an alcoholic and a drunk. He was never there. I didn't have a father figure constant in my life until my mom couldn't take care of us and my grandparents had to take custody of us. It was during that time that a lot of things happened. I got into my first fist fight. Um, I got exposed to pornography, which became an addiction at 8 years old. Fast forward, I ended up losing my virginity at 13. Throughout these adolescent years and these young adult years, teenage years, I hung around with a lot of people who were in gangs. Now, I do not claim to be a gang member, but I did hang around with a lot of people who were in gangs, and I got threatened a lot, and I got jumped a lot. I ran with gangs and I ran from gangs, is what I always tell people, but I was never a gangbanger. Don't get it twisted. I still had a sense of morality and a center compass. I don't know how or why God stayed with me all these years. But after my parents divorced and uh, getting molested as a kid, growing up around gang members and drug dealers and alcoholics and getting in fights, I've had a gun pulled on me by criminals and cops 15 times. Almost got stabbed in a church. A guy came up there to kill me, and the only thing that intervened with that was God. I went on to grow a successful business in my eyes at the at the time. But then I lost it all. After addiction, after divorce, I walked away with barely anything. The only thing I had strapped to me was my unwavering, relentless ability to just keep going. And there was a point in my life where I said, okay, enough is fucking enough. I'm tired of playing mediocre. I'm tired of playing victim. I'm tired of playing asshole. I just want to love me for who I am. And that's what I pursue to do. And since I've been on that quest, I've learned a lot of things about myself. I've learned that when you get up and the enemy's trying to get you down, he's going to do everything he can to take you out. I have been fighting battle after battle after battle after battle. And the closer and closer I got to my purpose, the heavier and the heavier the responsibility of carrying that purpose out became. And the more tax and the more tax and the more tax came. And there have been times where I've wanted to quit, guys. Like, I'm not fucking with you. When you're walking in your purpose, it doesn't mean everything's just laid out for you. It means that you still have to get up every day and look at your fist and say, what the fuck am I going to have to do with these today? Because that's what life is trying to do to you. Life is trying to beat you down, but we can't let it. Because God's purpose that was birthed inside of me after I started to forge myself, I didn't know where to start. So I said, fuck it, I'm gonna go to the gym. I hear a lot about the gym. So I went to the gym and I just started working out. Now, I've been in fitness since like 2008, 2007. So I knew what to do at the gym. It's just, I didn't know what it was going to do for me because I had been living in such a depressed, anxious state for so many years. But in recovery, I was able to get a lot of things done medically to get my body back in focus and back to being healthy. And so when I added fitness to it, I was looking to lose a little bit of weight. What I didn't know was going to be rebirthed inside of me was this unshakable confidence. Because once I figured out who I was in the gym, it made me realize exactly who the fuck I am out here. And I'm not fucking around anymore. You see, my family depends on me. Now, I'm not talking about my kids and my ex wife, as they do. I'm talking about my entire family depends on me. You see, I was what I was thinking was that night, that white knight, because I was making so much money. But because I had an unhealthy relationship with money, with myself, and with God, it all got taken away. But what they can't take from me is my character and my unwavering ability to just keep going and going and going and going. Every time something tried to take me out, I would go to the gym. Every time bad news or more problems or more legal issues came about, I gotta go to the gym. The gym saved me from so many bars, it's not even funny. Now, what did I find in the gym? I find that the only person in my way is me. I find out that the only person who can kick my ass is me. I found out the only one who's going to love me is me. And the only one who's going to push me as hard as I can be pushed is me. And the only one I have to answer to every single fucking minute of every single fucking day of my life is me. So while I was out here for so many years blaming this person or that situation or that organization or whatever. Everything I could point and blame shift for and deflect, I did. But now I'm sitting here looking at you guys telling you that I have been my own problem my whole life. And I am the only one who can fix it. I have a responsibility to my family to make sure that I create a legacy that goes beyond me. It goes beyond anything that I can do. We have to wake up, guys. We have to wake up and realize and understand that it doesn't matter what the fuck you've been through. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I just need you to focus here because you're distracted. It doesn't matter what the fuck you've been through. We have all got issues. Behind the camera, there's a person with issues. Off to the right, there's a person with issues. We've all had a hard fucking life because the only life we've known every minute of every detail of is our own. So, yes, through my lens, my life's been really fucked up. But you know what? I've heard some pretty fucked up stories from other friends too. And I wouldn't want to go through what they went through either. So we have to understand we're all going through it. But as brothers, we got to band together, guys. And I didn't do this alone. I had to have people come up beside me and help me and encourage me. And some were there for a minute, some were there for a season, and others who I thought were going to be there for a lifetime disappeared. But you know who's always been there for me is me. Nothing's going to stop me unless I decide it's going to. And that's the mentality that you guys have to adopt. You have to forge in your mind a mindset that is impenetrable. You have to believe with your words because your thoughts become your words. Your words become your actions, and your actions become your character. So if you're always saying, well, I'm never going to get a break, well, you know what? You're right. I'm never going to lose this weight. You're right. I'm never going to be able to take care of my family. You're right. Because what you think, you're right about. You have to go beyond your own beliefs sometimes. And you have to understand that you have to break the framework of what you have been telling yourself your entire fucking life because other people told you that. I met a man the other day. God, dog, this guy had a beautiful fucking voice, guys. Like, he's singing. And I'll break out my phone real quick to capture just his voice on video. And it wasn't but a couple of seconds. And he sounded like he could be like Ario. What's that opera singer? Ario Batelli or what? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Like gorgeous, just voice. Doesn't even look like he could sing like that. And I asked him, "Did you go to school for this?" And he said, "No." I said, "Why not, bro? Like you have a beautiful voice, dude." And he said, "Man, I tell you," and he's a Latino guy. He said, "Man, I tell you, I when I was younger, not an older man, but teenager, I wanted to get singing lessons because I wanted to become a singer. And so I go to this teacher, and he sits down and he starts playing the piano, and he says, "Okay, sing this." And I start singing, and he actually sings what he sang to the teacher. He remembered the song. I was like, "What did he say?" I'm like standing there in anticipation. What did he say? He looked at me and he said, "You're not a singer. You're never going to be a good singer. Just stop." He said, so I got up, refused to pay for my lesson, and I never chased my dream. And it broke my heart because this guy is good at what he does, but he could have been great at something else. And oftentimes, guys, we get stuck in this rut of providing that we just start existing. That's where I was. I wasn't just invisible to my ex-wife and my kids. I was invisible to my damn self, and that's who mattered. I couldn't even see me. But I stood there and I encouraged this guy. And I said, find places to sing, bro. People need to hear your voice. And I just kept putting my hand on his shoulder, just encouraging him, like, fuck people's opinions. Fuck their opinions. Because that's what enables us to create this framework that puts a ceiling on anything that we do. But if we could just break all that shit and say, let me go see what the fuck I can actually do, I wonder what we would achieve. I'm here to tell you, I'm chasing greatness. And I'm taking people with me. But my circle is small, but my table is sturdy. You need people beside you to encourage you, to help you break those frameworks, to help you break what you think your limits are. I'm not just talking physically and going to the gym. Yeah, I look good now. This was not my ambition. My ambition was to find a place for my aggression, to challenge my mental and physical capabilities, to see if I could be in better shape at 40 something years old as I was at 20 something. And I've achieved that as a side result because I have had to go to battle in my mind every fucking day I wake up to make sure that I am growing into more and more and more self mastery. You guys got to wake up. Men, it's not too fucking late. But let me tell you, it could be today. You never know what can bring tomorrow could bring. You have to wake the fuck up. Your kids deserve better. Your wives deserve better. You deserve better. Let's stop limiting our beliefs. I don't know what to say. I lost it. That was it. That's all I got.